Hi, I'm Pablo and I'm the Clumsy Rider. Welcome to this new video review. Today we're going to be reviewing, I'm going to be showing you around the new Orbea Wild FS. This is new for 2020 model. My model in particular is the Wild FS H25. That's the second lowest in the range. It's full aluminum frame, 625 watt-hour battery, Bosch Gen 4 motor. Yeah, so basically that I'm gonna show you how the and talk a little bit about how the bike feels, how I'm making the transition from a full suspension enduro bike, which I still ride, to a full suspension enduro e-bike, which is this one here, enduro all mountain-ish kind of bike. So yeah, welcome to this review.
Okay, so this is a size L bike that is for people from between 170 and 185 centimeters of height. Through all the sizes, the chainstay will stay the same, 455 millimeters. The wheelbase in this size is 1232 millimeters. The head tube angle is 65.5 degrees, kind of a slack, but that gives you plenty of confidence in the descents. Seat tube angle 76 degrees. It's okay. It gives you a lot of pedal efficiency on the flats and on the uphills. The reach is 455 millimeters and the weight is 25 kilos. It's kind of a heavy in the heavy side, but the bike is so well designed, feels very planted, and you have plenty of battery power, so you don't really feel the extra weight when you're riding it. As I mentioned before, this is a size L. I am 5'8", 175 centimeters tall, and it fits just about perfect for me. I used to be size M in other brands, but in Orbea, size L fits okay because of the geometry that makes it fit me in a much more comfortable way. The reach is kind of short, and the seat tube angle is kind of high, so that makes it a much shorter bike in higher sizes. The only problem with this that I have found is that the dropper post is a bit too tall. It's 150 millimeters of travel, so you can swap it when you purchase it, but I didn't do it. That was my bad, and that makes it a bit too tall for me. So just a recommendation to consider that. As you see, there is as far as possible, as far down as possible, and it's still a couple 1 inch a bit too tall. So in the rear we have the shock. It's a Fox float DPS performance with 3 positions and 160 millimeters of travel. That gives you a lot of options when it comes to different terrain and plenty of support. In the front we have a RockShox 35 Gold RL, not the highest end, but it's a real good fork and it does the job. So the stopping power is provided by Shimano. The brakes are very basic, but I'm glad that they have included this lever that is the short design one that makes it very easy to brake with only one finger with minimal effort. In the front and the rear we have 4 piston brakes. They're Shimano MT501, so kind of a basic design, basic model, but they do the job and they have plenty of stopping power. Tires are provided by Maxxis. We have in the front the Minion DHF and the rear DHR2. Both are 2.6 inches wide. So, and they're of course 29 inches in size. I will take a little break here to talk about how good they are. It's so nice to see a bike with a good tires from the factory, and I am actually very surprised by Maxxis. I used to ride Schwalbe's Magic Mari front and rear, plenty of grip. I never ridden Maxxis tires, so as you know, I live in Norway. A lot of wet rock, wet forest, also dry, of course. Many different conditions, and all I have found out is that the grip you get out of these tires, even though I still have them with the tubes inside with a lot of PSI in them, is just grip and loads of grip. So I have only good things to say about Maxxis, about the tires. I'm just very satisfied with them when it comes to riding in the terrain that I do. The cassette is a Sunrace 12-speed cassette 1151. The rear derailleur is Shimano XT, as the shifters are from Shimano SLX. Okay, so as I say there in the caption, the pros are mainly things I like in my personal opinion about this bike. I don't claim to have the absolute truth, but these are things that in my personal opinion and personal experience as well, I like about it. The first is the geometry. It's very modern, it's very comfortable to ride. It climbs very well. It's comfortable in the flat sections, and also when it is time to descend, it's really astonishing. I like the way the bike, how safe it feels and how planted it goes on the way down, as well as, even though it's a big bike with big wheels and tires, it's still very agile and easy to throw around the corners. When it comes to the componentry, I like a lot the way they have managed to put decent components, not the highest end, but let's remember that this in particular is entry level. It is the one of the, I don't know if entry level you can call it, but like the second cheapest in the whole range. The tires are really good, as I mentioned before. I love the way the grip they have. I like the fact that it comes with 4-piston brakes. We understand that they're not the highest end brakes, but they provide all the stopping power you need. You can upgrade them, but I'm not planning to do so. 4-piston brakes are more than enough for me. Next step is the battery. I like the first, that is 625 watt hour battery. I come from batteries from Shimano. The former Shimano batteries that were around 500, so you feel the difference in the range. I like the fact that, well, basically all or most of 2020 bikes in most of the brands, they come with the integrated battery, but I like that. And I also like the fact that the battery is removable. In case you're planning to take a trip, to take the bike in a plane, you can remove the battery, leave it home, and rent a battery. Since it's Bosch, you can have, like, it's everywhere in the world basically, and you can rent a battery somewhere. I like the mode that the bike has. As I said before, I am getting used still to Bosch. I'm new to Bosch bikes, uh, Bosch powered bikes. So I like all the different modes you have, and particularly I like the emtb mode that I didn't have in Shimano bikes. That it means that the bike provides the right amount of help according to how much effort you're putting through the pedals. So that I find is one of the ones I like the most. And of course, it has the walk mode. And that then I have to come to the next step. I like the way Bosch Gen 4 motor works. I'm new to this, as I said, but so far I'm so in love. I'm not going back to Shimano if they as for today. I like as I mentioned before, the bike being heavy. You don't really feel it, and that means that in very technical, difficult section, the bike will feel very planted, and it has tons of grip. That's a very good plus. One of the main things that I have found about e-bikes, as I said, I'm new to mountain biking too, is the insane amount of fun, and that's in general for all mountain bikes. When you ride a normal bike, like an analog bike, let's say you have half an hour to ride after you work, 1 hour to ride, and all you want to do is just have fun. I have a little hill behind my house, and in half an hour, 1 hour, I'll take 3 trips if I'm lucky, and I'm be totally like exhausted in them. I can take the e-bike instead and take 4, 5 trips, even 6 trips, and focus only on the descents. Of course, you train on the way up, but it's so fun. For me, this e-mountain bike means a lot of shuttle trips up to the top, and tons of fun. Of course, you can. I have taken some trips with friends that have analog bikes, and I just lower the amount of help. I leave it in eco, and it feels basically just climbing like with tailwind. So you can control how much help you have. But really, I'm just so surprised for how much fun e-mountain biking is. And that to the end, just because I'm going to take it too long, is just how beautiful the bike is. The design is it's a gorgeous bike. Let's just be honest. And this particular color choice, I can't even describe what kind of color it is. Is it red? Is it orange? Is it pink? Is it like electric red something? I can't, none of these videos, none of the pictures I have posted in social media describe really what color it is. It just has some super strong red, orange, pink-ish. So it's just gorgeous. And as some YouTuber said in some video I watched before, you can just sit there and stare at your bike and just love it. I'm sorry, I'm just in love with her. Her all bikes are female in Spanish, so my brain thinks in Spanish. Sorry for that. She's gorgeous. Yeah, not everything is perfect, as you know, and this bike is not the exception. This is a list of my personal in the things that, in my personal opinion, are not perfect about the bike. Things I don't like, things that, from my personal experience, could be improved. The first one is kind of a big one. Is the fact that the battery cover, the plastic battery cover that attaches to the frame, it seems to not be totally sealed in some parts of the frame. As you can see here, there is this tiny little gap between the cover and the frame. That makes it look a bit exposed. It could gather some dirt, mud, or even water in an area that is very exposed, that contains all the electronics of the bike. It seems to be kind of a thing with all the Orbea Wild FS models. I have asked in some forums on internet, and people have said that that's just the way it is. It shouldn't cause any problems. I contacted my dealer, but I haven't gotten any answer. So anyway, I have ridden in muddy conditions, in rain, in dry conditions, and haven't had really any issues. But as you can see here, I managed to fix it a little bit with this little Velcro. I hope it helps, but just so you bear that in mind. The second one is the fact that as you can see here, the charging port on the bike, the cover to it is kind of a flimsy. It doesn't really make it watertight. If you wash the bike with the hose, you should cover this part, because water will come in there and it could cause a lot of damage. This is again the part with the electronics. The battery charger connects to the cable to your wall, so it could cause a very big accident. So be careful if you're going to wash your bike with water. Cover it, because water will come inside if you don't. The next one is not. Some people might disagree with me. Is about the seat post. The seat post is not the best. I am comparing it with a Fox Transfer that I have in my normal enduro bike. So again, I think any seat post compared with a Fox Transfer will not be a good quality, or not as good quality. But I find it a bit slow, a bit like yeah, it could be better. The next one is actually something that could be very good. That is very practical to have, but is the walk mode in particular. It's a good thing to have, as I said, but you are forced to push the upper button in order for it to work. So it won't work unless you keep pressing the button. And in technical sections, when you're forced to push your bike, you want to have all kind of control and on the handlebar, but you lose a bit of that when you're forced to push that button to have the walk mode. It could be improved. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but that's my view on it. And the last one is, I don't know if it's a common thing for mountain bikes, because this again is my first mountain bike, full suspension mountain bike, is the fact that it's kind of a noisy in the rough descents, especially in rocky descents, as you can see here, as you can hear now. I don't know if you have to get used to that. You feel some noise inside the frame. So that's just a tiny detail. If you want to forget about it, it's just nothing. But just bear in mind that it will be a bit noisy, especially in rough descents. Okay, so as a conclusion, again, in a very personal point of view, this is my user experience point of view on this bike. And again, I must say it once again, this is my first and only full suspension e-mountain bike. So this is the only reference I have. Considering all that, I am very happy with the bike. The components are decent. they are not the highest end ones, but this is the second cheapest in the range. Full aluminum frame, but still you're getting the 6.625 watt-hour battery. You're getting Bosch Gen 4, the engine, and it works very well. It feels very good in the uphills, very good in the downhills. It's still easy to throw around the corners. The tires are good. If you, of course, have to consider all the cons that I mentioned before, I still think this is a very, very good bike. Would I buy this bike again? As for the end of April 2020, ironically, I must say no, and the reason for that is the price. When I bought this bike about a month ago, it was 48,000 Norwegian kroner, which feels just about right. It's the price I would pay for it. More than that feels a bit overpriced, and now, as for the end of April 2020, the price went up to 58,800 Norwegian kroner, which is it's just insane. It's too much. It's a good bike, yes, but it's a bit too much, the price you're meant to pay now. If you consider that when you're in that price range, you can go a bit higher up, pay a bit more, and you go for a specialized turbo Levo with 700 watt-hour battery, 90 newton meters, paying 65,000 Norwegian kroner. Of course, it's not cheap. We're not talking about cheap bikes. But I think this bike in particular, at the price for today, is a bit too overpriced. I would recommend you wait until the end of 2020, maybe beginning of 2021. If you're looking for this bike, they might go down in price, and that would feel that a decent price that matches the bike you're getting. Nowadays, sadly, I must say that feels too overpriced. But other than the very high prices nowadays, the bike is a very good buy. You will be very happy with it. You will have a lot of fun. It's a very stable bike, very agile, a real full enduro all mountain machine that I guarantee you will have tons of fun. So don't get me wrong, I love this bike. I really like it. I'm really in love with it, as I said before, but I think the prices are a bit too high.
Yeah, so basically that's my opinion on the bike. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please press the like button and subscribe. I'm just a small channel. I'm starting just now, so I have a lot of ideas and projects of video reviews and things like that. So please support. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Ja.
Hang on. Kom da.